How far, my people? Welcome back to my channel. So today is the day where I will do the questions for updated questions for K1 fiancé visa. And in regards of the questions that somebody sent to me, I'll also I'm not finish on today. I will do the questions of the one they sent me today. Then I will do the questions of the one another person sent me another day. So it will be 2 questions. But we are coming towards the end of this series. So before I start, I want to make just tell on say anybody will get any questions once again, reach out to me. I see on our inputs, a lot of people are asking questions on the comment section. A lot of people are contributing and also affirming what I'm saying. A lot of people are bringing in suggestions. I really appreciate you. This goes to show that a lot of you guys are interested in what I'm doing and are supporting it, and I really appreciate it, because I really want to help, but I cannot help properly without all these things, without questions, without information being given to me and all that kind of stuff. And also a little update is I heard that they've started taking K1 fiancé in scheduling K1 fiancé visas again, and NVC Nigeria, please, has started taking in cases and sending cases to the US consulate in Lagos and Abuja. So that's a very good news. Before I heard that the NVC paused and stopped, and I told you guys too, but now thankfully, or thank God, they've started it again. Someone reached out to me. Someone from Ghana reached out to me, and she's actually watching this I think she's in the channel too, and she was asking me a question. I didn't even know that NVC is in Ghana, but when I look at the name, National Visa Center, it's not one place. It can be in several countries. And apparently the same thing that was happening in Nigeria, where the NVC was on hold with information, with people's petitions and all that. That's exactly how it was in Ghana. But the difference between this lady's case and other people's cases, English no kill me. The difference between the two cases be saying the Ghana lady own her case fast. I take tell her when she give me the full gist. I say, your case fast because with this pandemic and everything where they happen, a lot of people's cases it reached 8 months to 1 year. Her own, when I calculated it, it was 7 months. The actual time that it takes. My case was 7 months, and it was 2017. I believe her God is very alive, or Ghana. Like I always tell people, Ghana in a lot of ways, Ghana past Nigeria. Forget our pompousness, our pomposity as Nigerians, and our high shoulders and all that kind of stuff. Please, sorry for the noise in the background. But Ghana past Nigeria, where for a lot of things, security, economy, now see even immigration safe. So she's just they worried because now her case there for NVC, and it's like on hold too. Now the class say just thank your God that your case don't almost finish. Now just this NVC stage now remain, but still even if it don't finish, it don't almost finish, it never still finish. So I understand her predicament. This is me just telling everybody to just be patient. Everybody that is reaching out to me, both those that are in America, those that are in Africa, I really wish there is something that I can do. But then when they bring a petition, I'm one of the forefronters that used to always share it on all social media platforms. I'm always one of the people that used to share it and put out my own support as much as I can, or as little as I can. So that is the thing I can do. I don't really have a lot of power to do much, but I can be giving information, and information is power. So if you like, you can stay and you can be watching and be getting information bit by bit. Anybody will give me information that is verifiable. It's a verifiable. I'm gonna bring her out here for now. So without further ado, I don't give my announcement for today. We could go into the main topic of discussion. I'm gonna read from my laptop the questions when they ask her. Then please don't forget if you have any questions to ask. People are asking questions. There's no way you can do this without asking questions. Questions must come out. Ask me questions. I'm available and I am reachable on all social media platforms, even TikTok. I am available. So she said the consular officer called her and asked, who filed for you? Where was he born? How did you guys meet? When and where did you guys meet? What happened after his first visit? Did you try visiting him? How did he propose? What kind of house does he live in? Where does he work? Does he have anyone living with him currently? What kind of arguments do you two have? Give 2 examples. Did you meet any of his family members? What were you two doing when he came back? As in the activities. How do you both communicate on a daily basis, I believe? How old is he? How old are you? Then I said, so you are approved. So, you see the questions? I'm going to read them again. Who fight for you? Where was he born? How did you guys meet? When and where did you guys meet? What happened after their first visit? Did you try visiting them? How did he propose? What kind of house does he live in? Where does he work? Does he have anyone living with him currently? What kind of arguments do you two have? Give 2 examples of the argument. These two will not kill us. Did you meet any of his family members? What were you two doing when he came back to visit? The activities. How do you both communicate on a daily basis? How old is he and how old are you? Then Dana said she's been approved by the grace of God. So, who fight for you? You go answer him. That is petitioner. Where was the person born? You go answer where they born the person, not where the person they stay now. If they born the person for Nigeria, you say them born for Nigeria. If they born the person for America, they say born for America. How na take 2 meet? How often I take meet? Talk the story as it be. If not me, I go talk the story in details. If the more you tell them this gist, the more they go tired to hear, the more they go approve you. The faster they go approve you, I mean. When and where na to meet, you go talk am. My own I talk say we meet for Benin. No, Lagos. That was the first place we met. Was it Lagos or Benin? I don't forget it. Benin. Benin are the first place I should Benin. And Benin are the first place we will meet. When? 2016. Early 2016, like April. I use my own and they give an example though. If I start from the beginning, they ask, then they ask. Says I go take answer. Who fight for you? I'll call him name. Where was he born? He was born in Chicago, Illinois, United States of America. How did you guys meet? We met through an outreach program called, I don't forget, 3 Doors. 3 Doors, I don't forget the name of the place, but 3 Doors with the name of the outreach organization. We met at 3 Doors outreach organization. They will ask follow-up questions because most of these things when they write here based on questions, so they ask you. So they ask you one question, maybe you can't answer, the answer not to sound weird to them, then go ask you follow-up questions. So when my own case, and if you ask me, say, what is this outreach about? It's a non-profit organization that deals with medicals, helping out people in low-income villages and communities for medicals, like running tests for them, eye surgery, running eye tests, providing them with eyeglasses. If they say so, they give you answer. Because not true, actually. That is why I always say to you guys, if they do this thing, make sure say they talk the truth. It better say you invest your time in your truth and stand in your truth than for you to go to practice lie and formulate story. Because if you lie, let me tell you one thing, a lie can never be repeated accurately the second time. That one lie where you lie for your application, if you lie them again, if you can't say one lie for interview, you go miss one thing, and I swear to you, they get your information right there. Then they look your information, they ask you question, where then they see the answer already. And so I go tell them like that. So the next question will be, when and where I want to meet. I tell them 2016, April, now we meet where? Benin City. What happened after his first visit? After his first visit, he left back to his country, and we continued talking via email, because now email we first started to talk. We continued talking via email, and then from email we started talking on WhatsApp, and from WhatsApp we started calling each other more frequently. Did you try to visit him? Yes, twice. I tried to visit him, but along the line he changed his mind and decided to come and visit me. How did he propose? Over the phone. He told me that he wanted to marry me. I was good. I looked at I fit the kind of woman that he wants, and he's looking forward to getting married very soon. He asked me if I was interested in getting married to him. At that time, we were already dating. And I said yes, that me too, I'm looking forward to getting married. So we can get married. You see how it sounds very normal? Because we already they date, and that's true. We already they date. You know, everything is going on well. Me, I want marry, I want settle down. Him, you want marry, I want settle down. He asked me, you want me to marry now? I say yes. What's in there? Me, I want marry, you want marry. We like each other. I'm going to marry now. You see? It is not you if you even hear the story safe on your own, you go not say this story no be something somebody fabricates. What kind of house does he live in? He lives in a 2-bedroom apartment. This is just me saying. I didn't know exactly where he what kind of apartment he was living at the time, but I knew what it was like. I knew it was an apartment, but I didn't know exactly what kind of apartment. I'm answering the question based off of this. They didn't ask me that question though. So I would say 2-bedroom apartment. Where does he work? Go tell them the company where he work. For his own privacy, I cannot tell you guys. Does he have anyone living with him currently? Yes, he had people living with him at the time. He had his sister, his late sister's family living with him. The entire family, or rather, he was living with them. The entire family. So it was the husband, the kids, the grandkids. Everybody was living in that house. That house is like a family house. What kind of does he have? Okay, I've answered that one. What kind of arguments do you have? After them, petty arguments based off of distance. Maybe he called me and I did not pick up on time, and then he gets a little bit disappointed because he wanted to talk to me during his lunch break, and that's true. So then I say, give me 2 examples. He says, I tell answer that question. I don't give one example. Then another example, I'll find that and I tell them. Did you meet any of his family members? Not yet. His sister wanted to come to visit him in Nigeria. The second time he came to Nigeria, but then few months before she came, she died in an accident. That one said already catch them. Sympathetic, they don't empathize with you. And what were you doing when he came back? Like the activities. The second time he came back, he went to see my family. I properly introduced him to my parents, properly introduced him to my siblings, my uncles and my aunties. And that's actually true, because the second time he came, it was when my family now knew that I was with somebody. I now properly introduced him to them. Then activities, we went to and they call this Tapioca Beach. I think they call it for Lagos. We went to a resort, very big resort. You know, he took me out. We had fun. Went to a museum. Went to an art gallery. Went to a lot of places. Went horseback riding. A lot of things. Yes, that was actually what we did. As I talk, I bring picture. I show them. So this is it. This is it. And I remember one question when she asked me about like one of the places who will go. I think they asked me this kind of question, and I showed that the picture of us eating gari and okra soup. She can't laugh. Now white girl will ask me the question. She can't laugh. Say, is it eating? Did I say yes? Yeah, I was teaching him how to eat our food. She now laughed. That was actually what gave me my visa. That simple picture of showing my ex-husband eating gari and soup because he looked white. So the next question now, how do you both communicate? From the email we moved to WhatsApp, then phone call, then the phone call that became every day, then from every day became every like 2 hours or every 3 hours, or it all depends on his work schedule. We communicate through Facebook, all social media platforms, phone calls regularly, FaceTime, will I say WhatsApp video call, because that's what we really used. WhatsApp video. I didn't have iPhone. He wasn't an Android, so there was no FaceTime that time. And as I talk that one, I don't go MTN. I don't go pull out all our call logs, all our texts. If I tell them I waka for my own, go MTN, pull out all my call logs. You don't have to though, but me, I didn't want, that time my ex-husband would tell me, it's better you have too much than for you not to have enough. So I didn't want any question, although at the end I still didn't have my complete documents, but it wasn't my fault. That was not from me. You understand? You better say you are 100% ready and prepared than get everything. So she ask me, how do you communicate? That's how they pull them. I go business center for the hostel where I've been staying. She tell me say accommodation, you get one hostel where I stay with it very cheap. I got that business center for that place. I pull out the I talk to the boys then, because the place where I stay, they're very close to the embassy. So the people they come there, like I told of my last video, the people they pass, the people they actually go for interviews, for visa interview for the embassy. So they already know the setting of that environment. Now Victoria Island, I'm not gonna forget, I don't remember this one. Now Victoria Island. So they set even the bank where I go to do my medicals, the same place. The hospital where I go do my medicals, they're very close to the bank. They know, as I just tell them what the bank, the GT bank know what carry me come there. The business center where I go, even you get one place where I go snap my passport, because you go need another passport again for your interview. They already know, because that's why I've been telling at that time, location matters a lot. To help yourself, help them, help you. At the end of the day, you need to find resource. You need to get, if not me, I tell on Nana, before my interview, before they even, I made it, don't tell me, say they don't approve me for a United States. That time, they approved me July. I started traveling from Port Harcourt to Lagos like it was my backyard. Every other week, like every 2 weeks, from July to when I moved to America in October. August, September, October, 3 months. Every week. It can't get to one point where I can't meet that my friend for hospital, can become very close friends. I can't go to stay with her for Benin. Because I know when you remember my interview never reach. I don't they go map out the area. So now they find that place for Victoria Island. We get everything for that neighborhood and get everything, because they not say that place now embassy did there. So a lot of people they pass. So the business center, we just they see the hostel where I stay. See restaurants where they go eat. Then the restaurant place where they eat. See business center for different restaurant. As I just said, the guy for the business center say, I won't pull out chats from WhatsApp. The guy say, oh, for your interview. They already know. Nathan say yes. He say okay. The guy put them, log on, everything. Pull out all our chats, screenshots. No be say, you know how WhatsApp will tell me save this to your email. No be like that. Excuse me. No be like that. Now, like, so that when they go see him with the background, with the WhatsApp background. So when she asked me this question, how do you communicate? That's how they bring on this one. She tell my own, As I tell you, as I they talk. You go even tire yourself. Come here, Sabi talk. And I know they lie. So they talk, you go be like gist. You come like saying, nah, gist. Me and the girl, they gist. When she asked me, I remember that she asked me, what is your wedding plan? I remember she asked me that question. Now I pull out my wedding dress. I don't already know the wedding dress I want to wear. I don't already arrange everything. She got to me and say, wow, this is a very, very nice dress. Isn't this going to be expensive? I said, yes, I'll be ordering it from Dubai, because at that time I bought order my dress from Dubai. But when I come here, I can't find that, say that one a waste of money, waste of time, waste of fabric. And one of their traditions here, if you're marrying an American, one of their traditions here, they get this tradition. No matter people they tell them for Nigeria, say American people no get traditional culture and lie. They get tradition here. One of the traditions we say for marriage or wedding, very big. Something old, something borrowed, something new, something blue. Those 4 things must day for your wedding. Especially if you marry white black person or from black family. Because my ex-husband was black. He looked white, but he was actually from a black family. So something borrowed now turned out to be my wedding dress. My friend Naikon volunteer say, don't you want my wedding dress? Her dress fine, pieces to inches, very fine dress. Now I say, you want to give me? She say yes. It will be your something borrowed. So I eventually not use that dress what I've been one use, because it was waste of money. By the time you get it, only the dress costs like $2,000. Then you now order it from Dubai. That one is another $500 or $1,000. That's waste of money. My whole wedding cost me how much? My whole wedding cost me like $1,000, a bit $2,000. Now I can't go use buy wedding dress. So you understand wisdom. So the communication aspect, that's it. As I they answer her, I they give her video, see your picture, see her. She just tired for my own. Then how old is he and how old I am? I tell them. And that was it. Like that concluded the interview. And that concluded the interview for this person. I'm mixing the two together, the girl's interview and my own interview, to show you that it's the same process that they follow. Then the girl said, she said I should tell you guys, when you're going to pick up your visa, I think I don't tell this thing before. Make sure say your visa, there's no error. because she heard that there were people that were sent back at the port of entry because of these errors. She said everybody in K1 should please be on the lookout. This is another message she just sent, which she sent me. Then they send people back. I don't talk. Okay, now somebody who have been they respond to, who have been they reply to. Where I know if you just ignore some people. I just make a school that one small. So it was I think that was where I explained it. So this guy was telling me that I should tell you people, low. You people should be very careful when they don't. As you don't, God don't do it for you. You don't scale through. You don't pass the interview. They will tell you. If they not tell you and you still pass, they will give you white paper. Because my own, they don't tell me congratulations or anything like that. They just tell me, say, okay, she was scrolling through, she no see in second divorce judgment decree. She only see the application. She no see the final, like, Judge Johnson, I don't divorce. So that paper, then she comes give me the white one, say, everything is okay, we just need this document. Once she sends it to us, we will give you the visa. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they will have to take no can go kill yourself because not take congratulations. Yeah. But when you don't finish, it's like this guy say, make a tell on that. Please be on the lookout. Then when they don't finally give you your visa, you don't go DHL to go pick up a visa. No, just pick up your visa, disappear. Pick up your visa, open them, look whether all the name they correct, date of birth, all those things, information, even your because everybody has a number. Your how do you say they call them? How many say they call them again, Sif? You then go A0111, your application number or something like a petition number, I don't forget the name. Even down and check whether they correct, just to be sure, because she said that they sent people back at the port of entry. So this is where I'm going to end it for today. Thank you very much for watching. To the next time I will do the boy own, because girls send me, boys send me. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye and take care.